Hey everybody, it's Bust, and today we're tackling the 4-star weekly quest, and we're going to be doing it with the Elder Dragon. And so hopefully this video hits your eyeballs in time to help you get a little bit of assistance finishing this one off. I know that there's only one day left on the quest as this video comes out, but even if you don't get there in time, hopefully we have a little bit of fun along the way. And so the special rules for this one, the Legend Walker, or the Legend Weaver, this is the big thing. We're designing everything we do around to where epic cards cost 2 less, and that kind of ties in with the Nox and Might Legendary. And so for each round for the opponent, this only affects the opponent, not us. The first unit they play gets the +4 attack and Overwhelm. That's a grant ability, so it's very easy for the opponent to get this gigantic board of overwhelms up and running very, very fast. And so to try and counteract what the opponent is able to do there, we're going to be making the best usage of the Legend Weaver as we can by using the Elder Dragon. And so to pull Eddie, if you're not familiar with his star powers, that's what's going to tie into exactly what we're trying to do. So allies with a base cost of 6+ cost 2 less. If we can tie that in to the quest ability to where epics cost 2 less, we can start playing these big gigantic units on the first turn of the game. And so if we have something like Enraged Fire Spitter, it's going to cost 2 mana, right? -2 for being a 6th cost card, -2 for being an epic gets it down to 2. Then since we have the +1 starting mana, we can play that 2 cost card on the first turn. Now, this does kind of lend itself to being a high roll strategy, and that's what we're really going to be designing the remainder of this run around. So in terms of the relics, we're starting off with just rerolls. I don't feel like the Elder Dragon really needs help in terms of stats or combat effectiveness or ending the game. The Elder Dragon is very good at getting flipped attacks in within his own deck already, and he doesn't need a ton of help. If you want to, or if you have more relic slots available to your champion, you can look to give the Elder Dragon Scout. That does a fantastic job of closing out the games very quickly, but only having access to the one relic slot, I'm just going with the rerolls, and there's a very good chance that you should just be going for revive-based cards and reroll-based cards with the Elder Dragon anyways. If you get your dragon up to, champion level 20 or something, and you have all the Nito abilities and the super strong decks and very common epic items and stuff, then sure, you can get a little bit more crazy in terms of what your items do. But hanging out down here at champion level 8, we have to do the best that we can to make sure that we get a good run, and we're going to be doing that by taking these bonus rerolls. That's also going to present itself here at the very beginning of this challenge, to where we've already jumped in and quit and started all over so that we can get access to the mana gem thing early. And so in my opinion, what we need to do is we need to win the first round or the second round. We clearly need to win them, right? But we need to just have some advantages within those, get the opportunity to add cards to our deck, do our absolute best to find a 6th cost epic unit, and then once we find that, start cutting stuff out of our deck. The most important thing that we're going to be doing throughout the course of this run is getting either a 6th cost or a 7th cost unit on board on the first turn of the game, and the unstable mana flow really helps with that. It helps us to fight through these early game boards, especially in the sense if we miss, right, and we have to legitimately play a 4 mana unit or a 5 mana unit, just getting that bonus mana in the early game is going to hopefully carry us to the first boss, the Victor, in this round. And once we get to Victor, hopefully the deck will just be so good that the loss of this early game, or the loss of the relic and the loss of the champion power aren't going to be that painful. And so off we go up to battle against the spiders. As they attack, they get an ephemeral arachnoid horror. So let's see, we do have our only epic within the deck to start with, this Otrani, and I'm fine to kick off with him. We'll shuffle everything else away. Ideally, we're going to be able to play Otrani on turn 1, then have that extra mana gem on turn 2, so that we could play a Cadrigen. Cadrigen didn't turn up, so we might edit our curve here just a little bit so that we can try and get the Stalking Broodmother down on turn 3. So we'll have to save Otrani for next turn. So I think we just add in the Wounded White Flame. I guess, well, we can play the Conjurer to give, give Overwhelm to the dragon. He can't block this round. He's not big enough to get in front of a Fearsome, but maybe that'll be a little bit more useful than the Wounded White Flame, who's doing Literally nothing at this point. Thanks, bro. Thanks for your literally nothing. Why not get a little sassy with him, you know? And so we'll have a legitimate question here with the Blue Sentinel if we want to trade it away into something, just to get that extra mana gem next turn. We're going to be at 5. That would take us up to 6. If we get up to 6 with 2 mana, that's 8, and we can Strafing Strike. So I think we do want to just trade away the Sentinel. I hope I'm at that right. Everybody knows math is not my forte, and so looks like we picked up 1 mana too many. Fine. It'll be okay. So with this Stalking Broodmother, have to take Deathless here. We really need to get multiple attacks in with this unit. A lot of times this opponent will just not attack into the giant bros, and so maybe we'll have something going for us there, but I don't want to count on them not attacking. Oh shit, he had a challenger. That sucks. That sucks. Are we just dead otherwise? I didn't realize this hook was going to come in, or we could have tried something a little bit different. Fine. So we'll at least get our dragon back. He's going to lose out on all of his sweet keywords. He does have Overwhelm. Oh, doesn't even have Overwhelm anymore. Fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta get something good. Cadrogen, you're as good as it's gonna be. Just the cascade of failures, not taking that the challenge into the aristocrat and letting him get that hook. Ugh. Painful. Well, we'll finally get this aristocrat off the board, I guess. How do we handle this? I definitely want to be taking the Arachnoid Horror down. I guess we can just go after one of these smaller units. I just worry that we're not going to be able to stop all of his Overwhelm next turn. Like, we can probably stop 1 unit's worth because we have the Sharp Sight onto the Ruby-Eyed Conjurer. But... who do we take here? We can't block the Poro, but if he plays a Brood Awakening next turn... I'd like to have the Spiderling off the board. Let's just go Spiderling. All right, hopefully we're recovering here. That misstep early just really slamming into our health total. Okay. So let's see, do we have to spend this crap on blockers, right? We can look to take this 2 in the middle. I was hoping to do something like block with Cadrogen, play Sharp Sight on Cadrogen, and then strike down a unit in the middle. Now, we can still, say, do this, put, say, Cadrogen here, and then Strafing Strike Cadrogen into one of these smaller units. He'll heal 5 and not die in combat. I think that that's fair. And then that'll let us play a Sharp Sight somewhere else. This is such a bad block with the 1 health dragon. It just doesn't do anything. As we messed this up. I don't know if we would have had it or not. Because we can strike the Spiderling off of the board with the Wounded White Flame. This might be close enough. That says -3, but we're we're losing all of our units at this point. Ugh. All right. Maybe we can pick up Eddie or something. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Ooh, Sharp Sight. Ugh. Not what we needed.
That egg, did it move?
We're close. We can recover though. You know what they say, it's not over until your health's at 0.
I must get out of here.
Let's see. That 7 attack is too big. Fuck. Right, we could make the fearsome blocker. Okay, well, let's take the revive. Why not? Why not just use the revive on the first battle, huh? No restarts, no redos. Let's just kick it off here. Man, that early play was totally what got us though. We did the math wrong, and if we'd taken that challenger down, we would have been completely okay, and we would have had the exact amount of mana we needed. But everybody knows I can't count good. it's the most challenging part of the game. All right, let's see if we can't fix it here. No units to ramp into. Again, not super ideal. It's like we're gonna go up to 5 mana next turn and then just not be able to use it. But yeah, we didn't attack with our Dragon Worshipper. I was gonna say it's probably better to at least clear out some of these units. Ooh, that's how the pros do it right there. That's how the pros do it right there. You just hit that sweet top deck. I think we got to go with tough. It's gonna get the Broodmother really up and running. Ooh, we hit heal as the second one. Okay, we're catching back up. We're gonna take a pretty big hit of damage here, but after this turn, I think we're completely okay. Very tough for the opponent to deal with this 9/9 Scout Tough Fury. We gain so much health back after all of the blocks. Ooh. Ooh, Broodmother in, huh? With Challenger? Don't mind if I do. All right, we're back in it. We're back in action now. we had a bad go in the first battle, but now I think everything's okay. All right, an opponent is blocking poorly. Got to appreciate that. All right, so now we're good to go. That's been like 40 attack power into Eddie. Yeah, he's up to 38. Assuming we get back to the next combat, we're going to be fine. I would like to play some more units. If we can hit some heals on here, then I'll gladly take them. Now, my kind of stance on this thing is I won't just come out here and prolong the game to try to find additional heals. I don't feel like it's really in the spirit of the event, but you know, if it's coming down to this and getting to play a couple of additional extra units to try and hit the things, I'm fine with it. So what was he at? 38. Since essentially 40. So we need 32 damage. All right, we're good. No hooks with Eddie, right? Remember, I'll let you all make that mistake on your own at some point when you're trying to get this flipped Eddie attack in, and you assume you just win the game because that's what flipped Eddie does, but you find out you've hooked a random ass spiderling in front of him, and he's now finds himself blocked regardless of not being able to be stopped. All right, back in it, back in action. It would be a lot cooler if we had that extra 15 health right now, but it is what it is. All right, so what do we got? Soul Gorger? I mean, it's not bad. It costs 6 mana so that we can start to play it on turn 2, right? And it is a pretty reasonable unit in this event, right? It has a very, very big bud on him, so he can block these overwhelms, and he has lifesteal. I typically advocate for just re-rolling a bunch here and looking for a big expensive epic, but I think I'm going to be happy enough with Soul Gorger. So we'll hang on to him into the champions. Not opposed to picking up a Noxus champion like Annie, just again to really help us potentially find enraged fire spitters. But she's not particularly good in this adventure. Let's just roll, see if we can't find something a little bit better. Something more removal-esque, if you will. None of these champions are particularly strong against the opposing power. Let's keep going. Ashe is pretty good. I like the Rhyme Tusk Shamans here. It doesn't work in terms of Eddie, but it does work in terms of just shutting down some of this opposing ability. And Brittle Steels should be quite strong. Playing a 1 mana gain 7 health isn't that big of a deal. So now into the powers, we have a shop, we have a Scribe of Sorrows, I don't remember what he does, or a champion item chest. I think we want to lean towards the shop. See if we can't just come in and find another 6th cost unit, preferably epic. And so into the Foundry. Game start, the foe summons the Hexcore Foundry. Their cards cost 1 less. Whew. All right, so there's the Soul Gorger. We can get him down on turn 2, right? I think I'm pretty okay with that. Let's get rid of the Strafing Strike. Excuse me. But hang on to the expensive play. We'll get this Broodmother down relatively quick. Ooh, I'm losing it. Can't lose my voice again. All right.
I bid you welcome. I am dragon
Trade?
to
You want to trade? You want to trade? No? Ooh. Here he comes. The key to our deck today, the Soul Gorger coming online. Oh, I forgot about our game start ability. That's why this stuff's been fucking with me so much. It's like, why do we have so much mana in the early game? Oh, because we specifically took that ability to get the extra mana is why we have the extra mana. Makes sense. Okay. This is where we should be turning the game around. Oh, he doesn't attack. Interesting. I was ready to get the Soul Gorger trade with the Deathless and have the Brittle Steels behind. Like, shit was about to get real. Just didn't need it. Alright, let's get the dragon down. I'd like to have Challenger, but he's not going to win combats against any of these units. I mean, I guess there's a world to where we might get a hook onto the Assembly Bot, right? If he doesn't play a spell right now, we can Brittle Steel the Assembly Bot and get a good hook. Right? I like that. Now he's big enough to take down the Voltician. What is he doing? Is any of this ever relevant? Kills our dragon. Deads it real good. Okay. We're still pretty close to the Eddie flip though, right? He's looks like 27. We don't have the scout unit anymore, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll be getting some more big boys on board before then.
Who wants a taste of progress?
Alright, Soul Gorger, come down and do your thing. Get a good strike in on one of these daring Poros just to give us 1,000,000 health. And then next turn, we should be able to Broodmother and Elder Dragon. Not bad, Soul Gorger. We appreciate the work that you do. Are we short on the Elder Dragon? Math is so hard to do. I don't know how anybody ever does it. Alright, well, the Eddie attacks will still be okay. He's just gonna have to wait a turn to pop off. It is kind of nice getting all this extra lifesteal, though. Like, we're definitely gonna be finishing this close to 30. Okay. And that hook's not super important at this point. Letting him keep the Kenpunk Shredder. We've got enough big boys on board to block if we need to. Soul Gorger's still out here doing the work.
No refunds.
Alright, so Broodmother in. Don't really need the heal at this point, so we'll start going for the stats. And I think we're good. Anyway, we need 20, 24. We'll definitely have 24 on the next turn. It's wild though, comparing this game to the first one, to where we didn't have any units in the early game, and now we do. now we have all this early stuff, and shit's just popping off. So easy. All right, let's attack with our Soul Gorgers to the left, and then Eddie should finish the game on his own. Get that little bit of heal before the Eddie hit comes in. Oof, feels good. All right, back to max health. About to hit that shop. Gonna find something sweet in there. I like it. I don't really like this Ash. I don't. I guess we should have some opportunities to get Ash attacks in, but out of that stack, it's like I like the Brittle Steel, I like the Rime Tusk Shaman, and then the Ash. I'm kind of like, eh. I don't really need this. So how do we feel about these? We have Captain Erica. She is a fairly strong unit. We don't have removal in our deck outside of these combat tricks, right? It's basically just challenges and then strikes. So having her as a removal is good, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. But otherwise, these cards suck, right? I guess we're stuck with her. As we're about to like hit the shop, we can just roll heavy in here. So what do we got? As far as these start, nothing we're really looking for. There is Overwhelm on a Soul Gorger, which I don't think we really need. When an ally dies, grant its power to a unit in hand. That kind of sucks. All right, let's keep rolling. These aren't epics. Where's the epics? That's the whole point of what we're doing. All right, there's a Sheriff Lariat Rose. Not very dragony, but I think she's going to do exactly what we need. She can come down on turn 2, being a 9/8, striking down the opposing unit should be kind of good. In addition to what other stats she gets, I think we're okay with that. I'm gonna add the 3 sheriffs in. We'll call it a day. Out of money, anyways, huh? So, all right, up to the Savage Reckoner. The first time the foe attacks each round, the foe's strongest attacking unit can't drop below 1 health. And this is our last round, our last battle of that free mana gem. we picked the mana gem and forgot it every time and fucked it up every time, but it's still a viable strategy to just fight through those early games. And now our deck is something, right? This is exactly what we're looking to do. To where if you imagine we only had the 2 mana gems and then being able to play the Sheriff on the first turn. Very big deal. Holy shit, that thing's huge. I guess that mana gem does matter at this point. So we'll go ahead and play the Brittle Steel to take away the stats. Probably just go with the Prowess. I don't think we're going to need Challenger in the upcoming turns. We got the Cadrigen for next turn if we need Challenger anyways. Now that I've remembered we have the mana gem thing. It's interesting how that works. All right. I don't know how the opponent feels here. How the opponent feels. I guess they'll always take the hook because of their ability, right? Maybe we should have waited until they attacked. Well, if we waited until they attacked, our Sheriff would just die. But they have that thing to where they attack with the unit and it doesn't die. All right, fine. Who's that Ash we were talking so much trash about? Sure. I think we're doing okay. Ideally, we won't take any more damage this round, but we can just kill whatever they play next turn with the Sheriff and then be ready for Eddie 2 turns from there. I don't think we'll get the flip if the Sheriff dies, but still seems strong.
Striking looks and stunning wit.
Captain Erica with the big shutdown, though. Showing the world what having barrier is all about. He says, I'm ready to block.
This'll shake her behind ya.
Oh, we can't even kill the thing, though. That's a bummer.
Not starting trouble, just ending it.
Alright, well. We're still good to go here. What do we need? 40? It's like we've got 20, 30, 40. Okay. We're all set. Easy mode dragon attacks. That's what they call this. Oh. Oh, shit. Opponent has the best of answers. I thought we were done. Sending it home. I guess we are still done. Sometimes a regular attack is all you need. Alright, GG. Alright, well, our relic falls off now. Sad day for it, but I think the point was made. We're able to show what we're trying to do there. So what are these? These cards all suck. I don't like the ephemeral Rhyme Test Shamans aren't going to do anything. I don't want Shatters. I mean, I guess Shatter could be okay. So slow. I don't know. It does seem like the AI is pretty intent on just playing a unit every single turn to make sure that they get the bonus. So we might get some usage out of Shatter, but let's take a roll. Ooh, there we go. There's our boy. That's what everybody wanted. The Enraged Fire Spitter, right? The Epic. So it's only going to cost 2 mana, and then coming down with +2/+2. This guy fucks. That's what it's all about here. So we'll skip the shop. We've spent most of our rerolls. We don't have too much money left over. We'll go into the spells chest. There's that Shatter that just doesn't want to go away. Probably just take Succumb to the Cold. I don't really like Succumb to the Cold, but I guess we don't have any summons, and our interactivity is pretty bad at this point. So let's cut cards. That's what I'm excited to do. Definitely want to keep all of our expensive units. Succumb to the Cold is fine. I'm really considering just cutting Ash, but I think Ash is probably better than Wounded White Flame. Wounded White Flame strikes me as the worst unit that we have at this point. So I guess it can go. At least like the Conjurer might give something Overwhelm. Alright. Then on to Victor. The foe's units have +1/+1 for each of their keywords. I think we're good to go, though. I think we're gonna tear this down the rest of the way. There's our boy. That's what life's about right there. Get that Enraged Fire Spitter going. Opponent has to take the initiative, so we get to kill their armed gearhead on the first turn. Oh, why didn't you play where's the gearhead? I thought we were going to get it right from the start. All right, fine. Looking for Deathless. Typically, if you get this Victor off the board, you just win the game, and so Deathless would have been good. I don't know if he'll attack into our dragon. I don't think he will. And he does not. Cool. So let's just go ahead and try and get the takedown before anything weird happens. Gotta like that. Gotta like that. Now, I do have a bit of concern, because our hand sucks. Our hand sucks a lot, right? We just have the 2 Brittle Steels and the Sharp Sights. Now, our deck does have a pretty big density of expensive units, so it's not crazy to think that, you know, we're going to come out and just start drawing them. But it's definitely a concerning start. We have to just take a Mimic down. I guess they don't have... They don't have Elusive at this point, but They still give me concern. That's where the elusive comes from.
Come no further.
All right, are we going to draw another big boy? It would certainly make life easier if we did. We drew a big boy, that's for certain. Just not, just not one that we can cast. Like the mimic is the good challenge here, but I just wonder if we can't get the opponent to play something better, and then just have a little bit more info as far as what we want to hook. Let's do it. Let's pass and see what they do. As I as I did that, I was like, he's gonna hit us with a thermogenic beam, right? That's what you get for shenanigans like that. But luckily, he plays Victor. That's absolutely perfect for us. So get that down. Probably should have. We have vulnerable on the mimic. I was so excited with how the turn went that I just let it go. We should have hooked the mimic so we could brittle steal it. Right? There's just a very real chance we're dead this turn. Oh, come on. God damn it. Oh, no. Right. Oh. Oh. Look at this. If we had the we wouldn't be getting the block on the 5/4. It would be something like this, right? We would lose our dragon worshipper, but then we would be taking 15 off of the mimic, which would leave us at 8, and then start being able to start playing elder dragons. Well, is what it is. So excited. We just got our enraged dragon too. But nonetheless, I think that's probably a pretty decent primer as a way to take in the event. I like a lot of the strategy that we took into that one. With the you just start and quit, so you get the mana gem thing in the beginning, and then you're going to take the rerolls, and then you could see, I guess, in that last game how good things like Enraged Fire Spitter are going to be. That's just like the real key to this kind of strategy, in that you have to find some kind of 6-cost card, ideally a 6-cost epic, and once you get through that kind of early stage of the event, that'll put you in a spot to where your deck is just good, right? That I think that final game, outside of our massive misplay, really kind of summed up what you're wanting to see happen and how good and bad things can happen within this deck, to where, when you start with the Enraged Fire Spitter and get to play it on turn 2, that's exceptionally strong. But our downfall was having Brittle Steel, Sharp Sight, and 2 Elder Dragons in hand, or however that played out at the end, to where we just didn't get anything down on board early. And so having those gain mana gem things early should help you get the ramp you need to survive the early rounds. You have the rerolls to help you find those expensive units, and then you're going to try and find events that let you take cards out of your deck, so that you can get the middling things that just don't do anything in this event out. And so, unfortunately, not a victory, but a fun run nonetheless. I had a good time. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.